Another well-known scheme is one that involves a Nigerian prince. It's been going on since even before the internet was a thing. But now the game has changed. Cyber criminals are hooking in victims and stealing their cash using far more sophisticated methods, and they're raking in billions. Andrea Day takes a look at why investigators have their eyes on West Africa and why you should too.
The same language was used with one person after another.
Just take a look. According to investigators, these are the scripts con men use to reel in lonely victims.
It didn't matter if it was male or female.
The script, she says, blasted out on dating sites, strategically designed to start relationships and keep them hooked. I'm totally new to this online dating stuff. I feel as if you are right here beside me.
There are hundreds, thousands of people out there who have been defrauded.
NJ fell hard for a man who called himself Sam West.
It was like we knew each other.
He said he was living overseas for work, but West was not who he said he was.
I felt real embarrassed.
We found the real Sam West, a former government agent whose name and location were used in the scheme. We're keeping his identity secret.
It still impacts my life years later.
NJ and West, both victim to a multi-million-dollar Nigerian crime ring, according to prosecutors, operating in the U.S. for years.
Nothing would have happened to them in Nigeria for doing these crimes because it was Americans who were their targets.
The scheme uncovered all the way here in Gulfport, Mississippi, after NJ's online boyfriend sent her a box filled with cell phones and told her to ship it to Africa. That's when she called police.
That one phone call took down this massive fraud network.
Department of Justice Attorney Connor Mulrow and Mississippi Southern District AUSA Annette Williams.
We're a small branch office in Mississippi. You know, everybody's like, what the heck are you doing in Mississippi with this stuff?
What the team discovered? Loads of other victims across the country, all conned into working for fake boyfriends and girlfriends.
360 email accounts, 1 million emails.
A virtual network of American emules, as investigators describe them, trapped by this romance scam and other methods. And she says those mules were then shared by the entire Nigerian organization.
Do you have somebody that can move this money for me or mail this package for me? And they'd say, sure.
Investigators say the victims unwittingly helped carry out a bunch of money-making schemes, like cashing fake checks and shipping goods bought with stolen credit cards, and ultimately wiring the laundered money back to Africa.
It probably moved through 4 different hands before something went overseas.
And the Nigerian criminals? Investigators say living large by local standards. Homeland Security Investigations Agent Todd Williams.
Bragging about the money that they were stealing from Americans.
Investigators spent years tracking down the criminals behind the con. And that's when they found the real Sam West, unknowingly mixed up in the scheme.
I was overseas on a government assignment, got a call from my wife that someone had come onto our property looking for me.
And she wasn't alone. Other victims sent letters, all in love with a man they never met.
They were asking, why aren't I hearing from you? What do you want me to do with the clothes, with the laptop?
That Nigerian organization was recently taken down, with 12 pleading guilty and 3 others found guilty at trial. 4 are still at large. But experts say the con game is far from over.
That's just the tip of the iceberg.
It is.
West Africa, according to security expert Mark Noonenkoven, a growing hotbed of fraudulent activity.
It seems far more collaborative. Cybercrime is a team sport there.
A group effort, he says, like no other in the world.
We've seen about $2 billion in the last year, and that's just in cash.
And don't think it's the same old Nigerian prince scheme.
Really what these are really finely tuned, sophisticated schemes that are targeted to separate you from your money.
He says the West African attack is all about mind games.
This region is far more focused on that social con, on that trick.
And he says those mind games are used by the area more than countries like Russia or China, who have more of a technical or scientific approach. It's all about hooking you in with tidbits they find on social media and playing with your mind to send money versus sending out just a faceless malware attack. For Nightly Business Report, I'm Andrea Day.